Hello guys, welcome to my new series, My Ideas. This new idea is going to be about multiracial and not what you think. I'm talking about like this. So let's say these humans, right? They're suited for every biome. They can live in any biome as long as they have food. But let's say this. At Arctic hair. Let's say there's like a little taskbar up here like there is for the soil, see? Like a little taskbar. You can choose what type of hairs you want. You can choose what type of sheep you want. And this will all lead up to zygotes. This is including all the popular gods, like God. If you want to include Jesus as a god, Jesus. The Norse gods, the Egyptian gods, the Roman gods. Every single one of the popular gods. And now, see, these guys are gonna work very weirdly. They're all going to have this passive boost. Every country will have a passive boost to them depending on their religion, which may or may not be added to the game. So let's say let's say these humans have Christianity as their religion. If there was gods create nations, by the way. So let's say God was living not there, right here. He had a bunch of children here. The humans will have a 30% diplomatic boost because their God is in the world. They will try to trade with them and everything. But let's say these dwarves, I don't know. Let's say these dwarves believed in the Norse gods. And the Norse gods lived right here. They will have like I said, 20% boost. And depending how close the gods' nations are, then they'll have a distance boost because they're literally across a lake. Or let's say these elves. These elves have been in a lot of wars lately. They conquered this entire spot. All the area that you see on screen now, they conquered it. And I had to stop it. Let's say their religion was their gods were the Spartans. See, every religion gives boosts, by the way, so God gives the humans a passive boost, so they're less likely to declare war. The Norse gods give a savage boost. There's a lot of shows where the gods are depicted as very ruthless with their actions. So the dwarves get a slight damage boost and a big savage boost. So they're more likely to take bones. The elves are Spartan. And the elves have Roman gods. And they get a little bit of everything, since the Roman gods have a little bit of everything. Like this child right here. If this child... Another bloody thing. I forgot. Gods can give birth to heroes or gods. Gods will basically be, sitting around waiting for a war to happen and then get involved in the war. If only if someone of their religion is in the war, then they will get into the war too. But anyways, so there will be god wars happening, and they will be very destructive to the environment itself. Like, let's say two gods were clashing here, like the Egyptian gods and the Norse gods. Each god has their own god ability, and they're named after popular gods too. Chill out. Like, let's say Thor came in and he fought the god of war. The god of war will have a gigantic damage boost, but Thor would, like, literally have a chance to spawn lightning on every single one of his hits. That means the god of war could easily defeat Thor, but if Thor does come with his friends, and his friends take a long while to come, Thor could die, but the god of war would be so low health to the point where his friends would easily be able to defeat Thor. I mean, to defeat the god of war. Like, and I think you can see how that would be damaging to the environment. The god of war could light stuff on fire and cause explosions, while Thor spawns lightning, and that does fire damage to the environment. The normal Christian God, so God himself will be the king of the Christian belief, okay? So there could be a bunch of gods in the Christian belief nation right here. And then the real God, not the real God, the king among the gods, let's say that, could literally can be the king itself. There's not going to be like, well, what if it doesn't make sense because there's that would not make sense because God is like every single one. No. There will be God in all caps, which is the king. That's God. Not the random civilians. They don't get to be God. They're just gods. Or they could just be angels. Let's say that. Angels. They're angels. But there's a lot that they can do with the God spectrum. But now, let's talk about trade. See now. Oh, no, sorry. Let's talk about the heroes, because I just said their name and then never talked about them. Heroes will be born in the nation of the gods, but once they get their first weapons and armor, they'll officially be kind of kicked out. So the heroes will look for somewhere to live there, and then fight for that nation. And if the nation goes to war with the gods that the hero came from, there's a half percentage that the hero will go rogue and attack the gods. But it's half and half. There's a chance that they might do it, and there's a chance that they won't. But if they don't, then it's not like the hero's just going to start going back home. No. They're going to stay and fight. Like, you know. So let's say this. Heroes are significantly less strong than gods themselves. Thor can easily defeat like 5 heroes. But there's something that the heroes and gods have in common. Depending on what weapons the gods have, they can wipe out an entire city full of 100 people. 2. Only 2. It would take only 2 gods with good weapons and no armor to wipe out an entire city full of 100 people. And that's where trading comes along. Trading will help a nation with their soldiers, because most of the times you don't see soldiers with helmets. That's really rare. You don't see soldiers with full body armor. So they will trade armor around, yada booma gazuma. And it gives them armor boost. And the armor works like armor. It doesn't work all the time. And here comes the gods again. The gods can trade with whoever they believe with. Whoever believes in, whoever religion. Okay. The gods can trade with their religion allies. Like the Christians. The human Christians. If the humans go Christian and the gods make enough weapons, the gods can trade weapons with the humans, and then they'll be significantly stronger. I'm talking about like 80% armor, 90% armor, everything. Or let's say this. The dwarves' god Thor comes in, because gods can visit their religion allies. Let's say Thor gives away like his armor piece that does reduced damage on lightning, because the god of thunder, I don't know exactly what the god of lightning. I don't search this stuff up. Please don't get mad at me. But basically, he could visit here, give a blessed person, whoever he chooses to be blessed, his armor and a special weapon of the god's choosing. And then they could be a hero. That's what a hero is. If they weren't born in the god nation, they would be automatically chosen by any god. So let's say another thing. Let's say the elves are rocking with an Egyptian god. Come on, guys. I think you all know what I'm gonna say here. Let's be real here. Barely any of us know about the Egyptian gods. And if we do, we spent a long time binging a show that got a little bit interesting, or it was a cartoon. Let's be real here. Or you're a teacher and you have to do that for your job, but I doubt teachers watch my videos. So I'm just gonna make a very fast stereotype. Don't get mad at me. Whoever believes in the Egyptians will get necromancy, mummies, and be slightly reduced damage to fire. Because, they do live in a desert. So they're sort of used to the heat, but you can still die by fire, don't get me wrong. They just have they just slightly don't get hurt that much. And another thing. Trades. And how the gods will intervene with those trades. The elves that believe in Christianity, if they trade with the humans that believe in Christianity, they'll get like a slight boost because they both believe in the same religion and they traded with each other. Trading gives you a 10% boost in diplomatic. So that means these guys could have a sour relationship, but have the same religion. The religion gives you a 20 diplomatic buff just because you believe in the same god. If they trade, they get another buff, which gives them 15% diplomatic because they have the same beliefs. If they didn't, then it will stay the same and be 10. And let's say the Christian humans and the Christian elves go to war. Then the gods would not intervene, mostly because they'll be losing on their side. Because the more that churches get paid, some of the money goes to the gods. Believe it or not, gods get paid to do, sit around and protect the world. So churches will be basically the gods' banks, but the banks pay the gods instead of the gods paying you get what I'm doing here. But the war would be over very suddenly because each side would get a there's two things that can happen. A debuff for wanting to be the number one religion. That means they could have the same religion, but these guys want to be on top. These guys want to be the number one people who believe in it. Or they can both have the same buff and want to become allies. So they would have a higher chance of peacing. See, tisk tisk tisk. This is another thing that could happen with gods. If someone dies and if the last person who believes in that religion dies, the gods will go on a rampage for like 2 months, 2 in-game months. They'll just be fighting whoever they can get their hands on. These elves believe in God. The Nordic gods would they believe, if the elves believe in Christianity. This is another thing that happens. If somebody believes in Christianity and the Christianity God dies, that's a on let me just show you. If the Christian God dies, the loyalty of every single village except for the capital will go down by 20%. Because, I wouldn't think it would be good I don't think it will feel good to know that your god died. And if gods kill other gods, there's something that should be added also, by the way. Looting and pillaging. This is a way to get magic books. This is a way to steal equipment. This is a whole shebang. The Nordic gods can straight up kill the Christian gods and take their legendary stuff. Another thing that I want to say, this is really jumbled up because I just remembered this. Gods only want the best of the best. The gods will only settle for the best. So, gods will have a higher chance of getting a rare and legendary weapon, and have a lower chance to get unlegendary. Common and bad weapons. And this is for a good reason. Because gods have to, and I repeat, have to have a weapon in order to use their powers. Thor cannot use his power unless he had fisticuffs on, helps with punching, and does more damage. Or if he had his hammer. He cannot do anything else with lightning unless he has fisticuffs or he has his hammer. And this does fit in. If, let's say, Thor has a legendary hammer, his chances of causing lightning on hit is so high to the point where in your game, you might just hear boom, 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 back to back. That's how I mean, there's a less of a chance of it being like boom, 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 and being like one boom. A few seconds later, two. A few more seconds later, three. It's not gonna be back to back to back. It's gonna be like it's gonna be a short time, but it's not gonna be like instant. I'm gonna hit you with this hammer, and every single time it's gonna cause lightning. The God of War, his hits have a chance to cause fire damage. Can you believe it? And oh no, I'm gonna have to wrap up the video soon. This is just gonna be part one of the gods in trade system. The next part is gonna be focused on what else should I focus on? Death animations and war plans. And we're gonna be continuing off this episode on the next episode too. So I hope you enjoy it. I'll see you later. Bye.